Hello, out there. James here. Have a title that I want to talk about, and it's called "Every Human Person Has a Bigot Side." Now, why do I say that every person have a bigotry side? Well, if you look at some people, there's always going to be an opposition in this world that people are going to look at the people and not like the people for some reason. And no matter if they live next door, if you neighboring countries, or and, and you basically it could be a group of people in the neighborhood that they don't like other people for some particular reason, and it's really crazy, and it's really strange, it's really awkward, it's really is really repulsive if you really think about it. And I come to the conclusion in my life that there's a little bit of bigotry and prejudice in everybody, and that's just being real because wherever you go, a group of people can walk into a place or business or an institution, and something that they saw or something that they experienced on TV or in their personal life run across an individual, they completely start getting, having this, stereotype animosity feeling towards. They have a lot of animosity, and for some reason, you have people that don't like other people because they they speak a different language. But but overall, most human beings don't like other human beings, and for some reason, because they feel like they think that they're better than them because they're not used to being around. One of the reasons why some people have bigotry because they've always been around in their particular neighborhood, or in some cases the country. Everybody that looks like them, speaks like them, talk like them, and have the same language. But when it comes to coming to a part of the world where every human being comes in, like, you come into the United States or Europe or some place like that, there's more people than meets the eye, and you're going to come across people when you interact, as far as business, as far as social, and as far as economics. And it's just that it's really sad that you have people that are bigot because they just it's in the DNA of some people. It's almost like it's in our human DNA to be a bigot towards somebody, find something that they don't like about another group of people. And in this society, even is it, and I agree with some people, it's like a totem pole effect. It's like the lighter you are, the whiter you are, you're all right. The darker you are, the more, if you look more African or they're African American, you get it the worst. And the reason why is because of stereotyping and something that they see on TV, and something that TV is the most powerful thing that changed the person's mind. TV is one of the most powerful weapons that man have ever used, because yes, it might bring you news and to alert you on some things, but at the same time, it brings you into a world where it paints a picture, and then you got people behind the media that paints the picture of other people that make them look bad too. And that's sometimes that they don't show the double standard side. And sometimes some people, when it comes to certain nationalities and whatever, they want to show the darker races as the most barbaric people of them all. And it's really sad. And then it puts a division among people. And it's unfortunately, in some places, in some parts of the world, and maybe some parts of this country, that people can get along, but there's always going to be an animosity, and it's always going to be it because one group going to think another group is going to get ahead of another group because of finances, education, and economics. And it's funny how you can take, for example, black people in this country, and I'm just this because uh, I'm part of one of the races that society kind of look that there's a certain part of society that look down upon black people. So I wanted to address this. It's weird how you have certain, and it's not just white people. It's not just white people, not just all white people or these particular people. You have a little bit of everybody in the human DNA of the race that don't like, for example, don't like black people in this country. But they're good to see them on TV. They're good to listen to their music, but just long as like as far as have to really interact with the people who have a bigotry problem, that as far as interacting with them, they don't want to do that. And maybe one of the reasons why because they're scared, because they're afraid of something that inside of them that they know is true and what is right, what they have to change. But the reality of it is that there's always going to be somebody who's a bigot. I mean, in every nationality, there's always going to be somebody, no matter, and you just can't put one person against another person because it in the human race it is everybody, every group of people that you see have good people and they have bad people that don't like. I mean, you can go to the 50 different nationalities. Well, probably I don't know if it's 50, but 20 or 30 nationalities of people, and you're going to find that there's somebody's going to be a bigot, and it's almost guaranteed there's going to be someone's going to not like somebody simply because the color of their skin, simply because their nature, their who they are as a person, and it's totally ridiculous. Which I don't understand. Some people that they'll go to a part of the country or go around the people that they fear and that they scared and they don't think highly of, but yet they put their business around people. And that's just something that I could never figure that out. That you can't the side of, especially to the person that's a bigot. I never could figure that out. People who are bigot, why they want to go around people who they don't highly think highly of. And that's one of the things that among the human race of people, yeah, you hey, 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 John, what's up? But it's it's just crazy, man. It's just how people are. They hate out of no reason. They just hate for, and you don't have to be doing nothing, but they already were raised to just not like somebody and to hate somebody. And I've encountered this from all different walks of life of people, and you can tell by the and how can you tell just by the personality? As soon as you walk into the room, they just get this demeanor about themselves. They just you don't even know the person. I mean, you just met the person. You just come into knowing who they are and everything. You just come into just meeting them for the first time or just shaking their hand. Automatically, they just don't like you for some reason because, and 9 chances out of 10, it could because of your personality, but sometimes they just simply just don't like you as soon as you because you're an appearance. And so it is one of the craziest things I've ever encountered, and I've encountered this not just from white people. I've encountered this from some Hispanics. I've encountered this from some Arabic people. I've encountered this from African people. I've encountered this from people from India. I've encountered this people from China, Japan, Korea, and you go on and on and on. Everybody has bigotry in them. Everybody has a prejudice in them. There's not one. I learned one thing on this planet is is that one of my good friends is on here agreed. Everybody has some prejudice. Everybody has some form of prejudice. Everybody has a form of prejudice, and that is so true to this day. I've learned that just by just a soon as a perception of it, and then was really is something about it, but they don't mind putting their business around people who they have a great prejudice to. I mean, that's what I understand. If you have such a hatred towards a group of people, why you want them coming to your business, or whatever? I don't understand. And why would you go into a neighborhood where the people who are you look down as the least and don't have no favor? Why would you even go into a neighborhood where if they feel like people that is criminally minded, they're not too bright, they're not too, they misguided, or they don't communicate right. And number one thing is because maybe they don't understand the language, and then so I feel that some people have their own point, that's why everybody has their own separate communities, and that was basically in their own neighborhoods on far as the East Coast, because no one had to interact, and the people who had that kind of mindset, they kept to their own. They stayed to their own. They don't have to deal with other people. Those are people who thought like that. But yeah, but it's just one of the things that some people try to make, and no matter how some people come off as liberal to conservative, there's a certain degree in the inner side of a person, no matter how liberal that they are, they might have something con with the person who's conservative, who they would consider some people as a bigot, who are prejudiced. And it's very true. Some people are very, you'd be surprised that how much they have in common. For example, I'll give you one example. Um, like a conservative person may not like to talk up a topic about interracial relationship, and this is in the human race. This is go across the board of everybody. Some people might feel that this particular race should not get with this particular race, and you might say, well, why is that? Well, the person who's justifying saying, well, these people that you're getting with, they're low down, they're not much educated, they don't have much education to themselves. They've always getting into some problems, they always get into some trouble, and it's just some people, and it's just something about the features in their nature that will blend out what the opposite, blend out of society, and 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 some people who are liberal might disagree, but yet in the liberal family, it's the same way, because if you look at their family, no one in their family is mixed. No one is in part of an interracial family. They mostly, everybody looks the same, so they really can't understand and adjust to it, because they pretty much in the same category as the conservative to a certain degree. And this is what I've learned along the way. So nobody can justify one over the other, because that's just keeping it real right there. Everybody has some type of prejudice and some type of prejudiced view. And when it comes to a topic like that, as far as two nationalities getting together in a corresponding relationship, and it happens more often. And it's not just a black and white thing. You have other nationalities don't really want to get with other nationalities, because number one is because they don't want to lose their language. Number two is that they figure that their culture, they're going to lose part of their culture. And if you get somebody of the opposite culture who don't speak their language, they'll have a cousin, then they have to everything that they were raised and from generation after generation in their culture that came into this country or whatever country, it calls for change, and they don't. And some people don't want to change, and so they want to keep whatever. They don't mind. They don't mind, going into a place like a workplace or school place. But when it comes to friendship and a relationship, some people simply don't want it. They simply don't want to interact. They don't want to come out the comfort zone. It's and they don't like to keep it real, and that's they just don't want to keep. It's basically what they don't want to keep it real, and it's like, well, why? How come you feel that way? Why do you feel that way? It's just that this is their nature, and it's cool when they see you once in a while, and if they have to make brief blase, but as far as really interacting on a level, most people of every different nationality um, basically have a bigotry, or basically a bigot in every, and you'd be surprised. And it's like, why don't you like these people? Well, it's just that it, it's just something that it was a hearsay. Basically, what they saw on the news, basically basically what someone told them, and they never really inter interacted with the people that they don't find too highly favor of. And it's the truth. No, they don't think, they think less of it. So when they come across or they have a bad experience with somebody, with what that individual, because they can't exercise the brain and the common sense enough to know that just because you come across somebody doesn't mean that's going to be of that particular nationality. Don't mean that the next person in that nationality or ethnic background is going to act the same way. You have some people so when they assume that way, they they're just a nut. They're just a nutball. I mean, basically what it is, they just have this um this real narrow-minded thing about it, and it's just really crazy how someone can just have this so low opinion about different groups of people. It's just that's what I've learned along the way. Yeah, it's just really sad, and this is what I've encountered throughout my life, and sometimes it will bother me, but after a while you just get over it. You just have to accept that people are people, and just pray that they one day they'll break that mindset, that they come up out of it. But some people that they don't want to come up out of it. They want to stay in the comfort zone, and it's really sad that I've throughout my life I've encountered with people just by the you and what how do you know a person is another way of person's prejudice just by their body reaction. The first thing they do, you can see it right they can't even hide it. They can't hide the disgust. I mean, some people when you go into their business or when you go into their establishment or whatever, they can the presumption is already they don't think highly of you, but they do it with a smile. I have even walked in certain businesses that they purposely kind of ignore you until you come across them or something, like till they have to encounter with you. And I might not be, and I'm not really patronizing that business to spend my money. I'm going it just for someone else because I'm doing something for a company or something like that. And I mean, it's the craziest thing, and that people have to look at each other like that. And it's just it's really sad. It's really messed up when you think more about it. And it's not just here. I've heard cases over in different parts of the world through social media how people respond to other people. You got people, for example, in Africa that you have Asian people, Chinese particular people, and it's not just them, but there's groups of people that don't like Africans, but they in Africa. They don't think highly of them, but you in the land where it's people that is of that land. And you figure by Chinese being so smart that, why would you go to a land and discriminate against the people of the land? Which that don't make for sense for any group of people to go to someone's country and not like them, and but yet you want to do business with them, and you disrespect them and just devour them. And you have other groups of people like the Chinese people do that to the Africans. And I don't think that. I mean, if you don't like somebody, keep your butt in your home country. If you don't like these people, or why you would go to another party where you know the majority of the land is occupied by Africans. That's what gets me is or whatever country, because I mean, yes, there might be Europeans over there, but it's not like the majority of Europeans is over there. I mean, it's just a few European and maybe Middle Eastern business people is over there, but realistically, you Asian, you Chinese, and you going over with this bigoted attitude. This is not reflected to all Chinese people, but the ones who do. But yet you going over this with this bigoted attitude into a country like Africa, in some cases like Haiti. You know, that's what's really. You're right, John. You're right. You know, and it's just crazy. It's just really crazy. And I think that if you feel that way, you feel comfortable that way. And it goes back to saying, why would you go into a place to go around another group of people that you don't feel comfortable around? You don't feel comfortable doing business with. You might think that they steal, or they think that too wild, or you don't like the way their personal hygiene. Why go to a place like that if you don't like these people and you feel that way? I just don't seem to understand that. And I just don't understand. That's just one thing I just don't understand about people who are the ones who have this bigoted attitude, and they carry the bigoted attitude to another part of the world, in which that world was already going through enough stuff among their own, and then you got another people bringing their repressive ideas and trying to maneuver and kind of put their stuff in there. When people come to Africa, basically they're coming for the natives and see the land and see the nature and the animals. But you know, you got these other people moving in, trying to bring in their business, but they seem like they're coming over to ruin some of the things that was basically for the land over there. And that's just one example. And it's the same way down in certain parts of the Caribbean. And I mean, them people been down there for, people in the Caribbean who are some are African descent have been in the Caribbean for almost a couple thousand years. And you got these other people coming down there where they nose all up in the air, thinking that they don't want to hire them, they don't want to give them unemployment, they don't want to give them employment, and then they want to give employment, they don't want to pay them right. How can you come and open up a business in some part of the world and not respect the people of the land? And people get tired of that. People who have been in these lands, they don't need another people coming over and being oppressing them and putting their bigotry views on them just so they can build up their society. I mean, the people can handle that they own. And I mean, if like any other group of people on the planet, you at least can have the decency and the respect of respecting the people when you come to their country. And I just personally feel that if a person have that much animosity towards a group of people, maybe it's time for you to just stay where you at. If you don't know, why don't you just stay in your own little corner and be comfortable? If you don't have the common sense and the common aware to come to a country, if I would go to, for example, if I'm going to Latin America, or whatever, it don't make no sense for me to have a bigotry towards somebody who's Latin American and expecting that I'm going to go down and see a certain group of people. I mean, it's crazy that I'm just going to cater to a certain group of people. When, for one, everybody speaks the same language. Two, somebody's telling someone in that language, like, this guy's an idiot because he's showing this arrogant animosity and bigotry attitude. And they don't think that people who speak and they don't hardly speak the language, so they don't really don't know what's going on. And but someone's telling them in their own language, this person ain't worth the crap, and they coming down there with this bigoted attitude and whatever. And I feel that if you're a bigot and you can't adjust your reality, where then don't go, don't then keep your butt at home, keep your butt in your home country, and stay in your own little corner of the world. And why the world don't need another bigot person going to another part of the world being a bigot too. Keep your keep your nasty attitude. If that's the way they feel, they should stay. They should stay home. They should stay where they're at. Why do other why why go out? Then people is already going through a hard time in that part of the world, and for another group of people to come over there and mistreat them, beat them, or whatever, abuse them mentally or physically or whatever. I mean, that's not right. That's not right at all to do any group of people on the planet like that. No matter if they're on an island, no matter how they if they're living off the island, they deserve human respect. No matter if you go to the rainforest, you may not understand what the people out there in the rainforest do, but they do deserve some respect. They don't need someone coming in and picking at them like they're some kind of animal and just mistreating them like they're just nothing, just because their lifestyle and their cohabitation is different from your cohabitation. You know, people who are bigot gotta understand this, that everybody in the world is going to be different. And that's how the way the Most High God, who I believe is, some people might not believe in God, but the one who created the stars and the universe and put people into the planet. So if you don't have the common sense to wherewithal to see that there's something is really wrong with you and you're wrong with your reality. And and basically it just don't make no sense to, and that's why I titled this "Every Person Have Bigotry," because there's you hear a lot of people going to parts of the world so-called trying to do the, you know, good Samaritan thing, but at the same time they know what they're getting themselves into when they go to that part of the world. And I never could figure out that any particular people, you have people who have the same skin complexion, but might be from a different culture, might have the pigmentation who are darker, and they don't even like the other people who are darker for some reason. You have people. This is how. So yeah. It's sometimes it's not always the light versus dark. You got people who are dark don't like other people who's dark, and that they want to scrub the pigmentation out of their skin because they think that if they scrub the pigmentation out of their skin, that there'll be a higher class and try to get to the class of people who so-called have the things. And so they don't want to be a part of the darker pigment people. And this is true in certain parts of the world, even here in America, it's like that. That people just by pigment of their skin, in which you have people. This is how deep prejudice is and bigotry, that it is a history of it, and you can see it on YouTube and or Facebook media where they show people bleaching their skin because, and this comes from historical fact from slavery, because this is something that was a system that between the dark and the light slaves and the dark slaves. So the light slaves get treated better than the dark slaves. Then that puts a wedge in between. And even though at the time some people call it the Willie Lynch letter, some people say that it don't exist. But it seemed like in some cases I think it does exist, because look what kind of system it's setting out. Here is some man put into a book, you know, 300 or 400 years ago on how to treat your slave, how you separate the slave. You take the dark ones, you take the light ones. You pin the women against the men against the women, the children, the family, and look how it's playing out in today's society. Here in America, you have it among the black community here, where the men and the women are going against each other, and they button heads, and then the government kind of designed the black women to not even be together with the black male. That it's okay to raise children without the black male, and then they kill off the black male. And this is almost like biblically, basically. And then, once that communication gets cut off, this is one example is here in America. So the black female gets cut off from the black male, and she decides that she kills off the black offspring. You got some black females that hate black males, to this extent that they will really would abort them in the womb. And so, but common sense, this is how deep racism goes and bigotry goes. And so they don't have the sense enough to have to know that if you don't have the male as equation to the female, the male got to plant a seed. If he wants to plant a seed, that however the seed comes out, whether it's a female or a male, it keeps going on for generation after generation after generation. And this is very true. And this is but the black female who's bitter and angry because she come across a certain type of black male that did her wrong. So now, and she has watched other black females go through this with a particular character of a black male. And instead of taking the black male that have a decent character, now she's angry at the black male and wants to have cut off and disconnect for some reason. And that in most cases that's the case when it comes to black male and black female. And so they're given right into the system of bigotry. They're given right into the system of cutting your nationality, your ethnic, basically wiping your whole ethnic race out. And they don't even understand. They don't even see that this is coming. They don't see that this is coming. So they put these abortion clinics up in predominantly black neighborhoods that was designed by a woman. And then to add insult to injury, there's right now over Planned Parenthood, there's a black woman that's over Planned Parenthood. Talk about a slap in the face. And then she's supposed to but yes, she has a black pride symbol on the body and everything. But how can you be part of black pride when you're part of black genocide? How can you be a black pride? And you have people that's trying to take that design to take you out. This woman, Margaret Sanger, was put it in documentary, and it's online that the Negro race is like weeds. We must exterminate them. This is very true. I've seen a document. There's a document on it on YouTube that this woman decided that she hated the Negro people, black people in this country so much that even Hitler how he exterminated the people over in the Khazarian people, which they call the Jews. So he took the same ones that put them in ovens. He put them in ovens by a eugenicist that was over here in the States. And it's too bad. And you try to tell some black people, these proud black people with this hate man attitude about this, without the black female, without the black male, there ain't no future black female, no male or female children. So you knocking out generations after generations, and which is already have been shown. There's documentary on this on the internet. If you look out there for some people who are listening to this stream, but if you look out there, it really is. I mean, it right now, and it's just sad, and that's a form of self-hatred that you hate. You don't love yourself. You don't like yourself. That was one way that the genocide. The second genocide way is the music, what you put into the music, and so the music influenced the criminal activity. It influenced so. And then when it's a certain criminal activity geared towards a certain people, next thing you know, we're gonna have to then they're gonna have to make this stuff look like the heroes. The people who design it try to make this stuff look like they're gonna solve the problem and build prisons and jail cells where you have a lot of young black black men and some black women are on the rise of going into prison and what happens is there's a cutoff point there. There's a that you cut off. So now you have children. So now you have children going to foster care, or they give it to a certain lifestyle of people that basically cut them off, and they will have lust and desire for someone of the same sex, and so that's another form of genocide too. Then this is just on, let's just say, one out of many races would start with black people. If you start with the black people, this is what they've been trying to do over the past, and it's in some cases it's succeeding, and so that they feel like it's succeeding. So this is what is going in three, four different directions, and this is part of the people, and some of the people who are bigotry probably got on board and probably would agree with what they're doing, but with the people who are bigots doing saying, if you do this to this one race, they're coming after this another nationality. They're going to do this to another nationality, and to cut down other nationalities' population, because they got to start one. They don't start one. Then one will tell another one how to cut one down. This is just one nationality of people, how to take it down a nationality of people. You got some people out there that have written books on stuff like this, and you've seen it play out. You've seen it play out in abortion. You've seen it play out in basically murder of people. You see it in the criminal system and things like that. And it's just that, so people who, getting back to what I was saying, so people who have this bigotry attitude, other people pick up with the same bigotry attitude. But we got to do something with these people. They just da, 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 da. But what the people don't realize, that the ones who you have the bigotry attitude, sooner or later, it's going to conflict, because and this is what you see right now in America. You have people in certain, I feel like this, in certain positions, that with this administration, they don't want to see. They already know about the numbers. They know that there's a white minority is coming to be faded out, because it's happening over in Europe. For example, there's a white minority. I just watched the video over in Europe that there's the highest group of people from the Middle East, as far as what come from mostly Muslim countries, are coming in. Some Pakistan, they're coming in from Saudi Arabia, they're coming in from Jordan and different places like that. And the white population is getting less and less and less and less and less. And so they bring in their things and their customs, and they bring their custom over from these countries, and say, once you get these people bring their custom over from this country, it's gonna form consistently. Like, so you have the administration over here is looking over there in Europe, and so that's why you have in some cases, that's why I believe why Trump is doing what he's doing, and some people trying to make wedges in that, and he's playing into that for that reason, because he he's on Twitter. You can see that the president is on different social media platform, because he's always constantly on things. But this is what they see over here. So with the immigration thing over here, right now, he put up a Muslim ban for the different 5-6 different Muslim countries, in saying that they can't come over, and that's probably because he viewed something like that on TV, and then they trying to get as many, but there's innocent people getting caught up into this too, and then you got people in South America and other countries, because they have to use a narrative, which is like a real small narrative of people might be actually committing crime from these part of the country. But the reason why is because America is going to change the face. and majority of these people from these countries is going to be the next 3 or 4 generations in America, and they projected out by 2030, 2050 that there's not going to be a whole white population. So what did they do is that that's why they put in rules and laws and things like that to try to see how we can cut down the population of people, and that's coming from these different parts of the world. So they can't come out and just really be be blunt about it, but this is the reason why, because they seen the rise of what's going, and they trying to prevent what's going to happen, because we basically going back into one. It's going to be so many people of different nationalities that's going to fade out, and majority of people are going to be part of the nationalities. The children are, people are future children down the line is going to be like this, and they're already projecting this out as we speak. As so that's why you're seeing so much bigotry. That's another reason why. And so right now in this country, which is the United States, you have people coming in, but they come in real, like, they want to come in real small buckets. They don't want it to come in as more people or more of people of this country, because if you do, it could turn to a competition. But for other people, they look as a competition. Two, it sets up a whole different order of things, and it changes the whole dynamic. And I think, people getting government services and things like that. So, and then it's like you have so many people of the same these different nationalities that's going to double in to the neighborhoods that they're at. And it's not like they have so many people that they can put them in certain different neighborhoods like they already now do here in America. Now you have the triple people coming, bringing their people over here from their native country into America. So it's going to double that, and double the size. And so it's kind of put the white minority of people, which they set the system up. They set the system up to be that way. Now that's what they fighting with the DACA and these things like that. That this is, if they have it their way, that they flood the gates open. There's a conservative part that's hating on the liberal part, but sooner or later you're gonna have so many people overall going to interact and intermene and mix. There's going to be a mixture of it. So it's not going to be a predominantly Caucasian, wealthy white community practically no more. And that's what I think. That's what they're scared of. That's why they're making all these laws and rules and things like that. Like, wow, man, and they putting all kind of laws and rules into place that try to stop the fluctuation of people that's coming in. And then you got people that's glad to come in, of course, because of their living circumstances in their native country. But one thing about some people that come from these countries is that the change in mind and perception of what they have once they get here. Some people change. Some people change for the good, and some people change for just thinking that they're above because they get next to the elite. But they don't realize that just because they get next to the elite, they don't want them over here. It's because sooner or later, you have the people that's keep the other people out. It's gonna be in their neighborhood. Next thing you know, no, they might be in their family, just like that. And so you have a population of people that's just they don't want to mix. So the ones who are in power right now, who are not who are a part of this, try to be a part of the solution, is want to put these laws in, and they're basically to cut down the. So right now, what they're doing now is that they cut down the immigration. And I don't know if some of you out there see it, those who've seen it, but they estimated they're gonna cut the population of people that's coming into this country. Where before you have Obama and that last administration had like 115,000 immigrants. They're gonna cut down to 30,000 people. It was 40,000, and so next year about they're gonna come down to 30,000 to 20,000, and probably so on. And it's because of the the multiculturalism, and I think they scared it might turn out like Europe. So, and these good old boy people ain't gonna have that here in America. So that's why they came before Trump really hard too, because there's some people that see that's going on, and just like the president, they see what's going on, and so hey, but this country started out doing people, this different groups of people this way. So you get we get what we got coming to us. Well, however, and and since you put it in the law that all men can come here free and bond, hey, it's gonna happen. And that's why you have these special lawyers out here fighting this stuff, and they fight hard. They fight going all the way to the court system, and that's probably why you see this thing with they're trying to get in who is this next guy with this Kavanaugh guy is going on with him, because if he gets in there, he might try to might be one of the objective people on the Supreme Court that can stop some of the stuff that's coming over, that can fluctuate the immigrants that's coming over, in which the mainstream liberals wants to have it like that. This really is very interesting, but it's even as we look higher, bigotry is starting to reveal itself. Bigotry in different places, from the low to the high, it's starting to reveal itself from people. You starting to see things in people like, man, like, wow, I didn't know that because when it comes to that, see, it's okay. See, bigot people in high places, let me put it to you this way. They don't say nothing. They stay in, as long as they in their high influent community, and the rest of us down here who fight among each other, they're all right. But when they start coming towards their community, it's gonna have a problem. When it comes into their backyard, their backwoods, where they're the representatives and people that they live next door to companies and your own companies, that's when it becomes a really big problem. It becomes a really big problem with people, because they don't want to be a part. They don't want that. They don't want that come in their backyard. It's like, it's okay, but long as it's not in my backyard. It's all right for the rest of working class America to fight, but don't bring it to my backyard. But see it, and this is but you have a strong liberal side is conflicting with the strong conservative side, and now we start to see who's really what, and this is what's making politics, and what's the news is forming out today. Bigotry and prejudice is basically, you've seen it coming in a whole different form. You've seen it come out in a whole different format, from the highs to the lowest. It never, and no matter how high you get up the ladder, the more bigotry you hitting in areas. It's almost like you hitting in a society of people. Like, some people call it secret society, but it's a society of people that have been wanted to dominate. When you hit to that certain level, then it's become a problem. Then it has to go into politics and legislations, and people passing laws and things like that, and they have to justify, and they have to flip it, turn around, make it look like this in the media, make it look like it, and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a chess game, what's going on out here. And then we are the pawns. We all are pawns. No matter what ethnic background you are, what race you are, what your economic status is, and what your educational status is. There's a certain people that are elite that that want it like this. They want us to fight each other. They want us to beat each other's throat, not like other people and things like that for whatever particular reason, because they just feel as long as it don't affect them, they okay. And this is what you're having right now. This is what's going on across the world. What you're seeing with and how it's going right into politics. How something that's simple, what I mentioned earlier, is playing out. That's how it's playing out. And if someone wants to stay behind the curtain, but the majority of people is trying to pull the curtain back. But there might be someone's trying to hold the curtain up. There used to be times when people would hide their bigotry. Now you can't even hide no more. Some people ain't even, they're so bold, and that's what's funny about this thing. With whether some people like Trump or don't like Trump, but one thing you got to be, he is having people ignorantly come out with their boldness, with their prejudice. We're starting to see people who have prejudice and bigotry come out in areas like the guy who owned Papa John's, to recently some guy who was a professor at some place down in Texas, where he made a bigoted remark about black quarterbacks, about all black quarterbacks can't think for themselves, something like that. They can't precise. And then you have someone like a Papa John's is saying that yeah, we used to take black people and drag them by the back of the truck, whatever. And said it's in playing out and someone recorded and just playing out like that. And this is what it's funny. It's like I think it's God is helping us reveal who has the bigotry in this. That's my personal opinion. He's allowing us to see what kind of people that we're dealing with. That when they have, it used to be a time, it's almost like the devil can't hide himself no more. And sometimes you have people who are devils that like to hide behind the walls. They like to hide behind situations, and that's the truth. That's what people who are bigots. That's what they're really about. All they do is want to hide behind things, and they don't want to be looked suspected. That's there you have it. And and again, it's in every human race. It's in every individual out there. That's very going across the board from an educational background. Now you start to see it's not just your low income working poor class person anymore who's a bigot. You see bigotry at a whole different higher level, and they just blatant with it. They just coming out blatant with it, whether it's on a video, whether it's on a recording, of course, someone recording something like that now. And it used to be time like they could say it, but it don't affect their occupation and their job or their business. Now someone can just they can't secretly make money and be a bigot at the same time. And that's what it is frustrating people who are bigots, who are prejudiced, because they want to be prejudiced, they want to be bigots, so it gives them a sense of arrogance, a sense people who are bigoted and who are arrogant, they're arrogant and they misguided. They lack common sense whatsoever. But they think that they're the smartest on the planet, but they have no common sense whatsoever. People who are prejudiced, who are bigots. And no matter what level that they're at, no matter if they're one of the richest people or one of the poorest people or in between, they're just bigot people in every human race. Are just people who are prejudiced are just, they're not very bright. I know that no matter how much education that they get, they're lacking something. They're always lacking something. And what they're lacking is, so you could be the smartest person on the planet, but one thing about a bigot, they're stupid, because when it comes to common sense, they're very stupid. Anybody against another person, against another people, are stupid. And God, the Most High God, is going to expose them. So you can't hide something. You can't hide your hatred. You can't hide your bigotry no more. And so that's what it is. That's why people coming out with it. And then you got some people who are just straight up demonic, who are bigots. They just want to see hatred. They want to see murder. They want to see bloodshed. And that's how deep prejudice can go, to the point that you will look at another person and you can't stand the person that you would. There's some people are that wicked, ladies and gentlemen. As I'm speaking to you right now, there's some people that have that hatred towards human being on another human being on this planet, that they don't even like they don't like their skin color, and they wish death on them. They wish disaster on them, and they get kicked off. You got some sick individuals out there. Bigotry goes to a whole, and prejudice can go to. This is the extreme bigotry and prejudice. And there's people who have influence, who have money, are able to do stuff like this. And it's scary. That's what I call a mad person, a madman. And there's people that do it, and they do it subtly. They can do it secretly. That's why they can operate like the devil. They could do something and transform it and make it seem like they, because people who do evil things like that, who have bigot ways, they don't always come being a bigot. Some people who are bigot comes with a smile on their face. They have to come themselves humble. They come humble down to play a role. But in the end, their true nature come on out. That's what a bigot does. A bigot has that spirit. Precious people have that spirit in them, and they don't want to be exposed, but they don't want to be shamed, because they're gonna be lit. And I really they scared in the end, because they don't want to be alone. Because somebody in the same race gonna have some common, which is be very few people, is gonna say, "Man, you just a jackass. And you just you're an idiot." Basically what it is somebody telling that in their own. Could be someone that looks just like them, speak the same language as them, in which eventually that person, when they look at them like, "Man, you don't you're trying to tell them that they're less intelligent, but you're more or less intelligent than what they are." That the people that you portraying. So that's the case with the Chinese over in Africa and the other groups of people that's looking down on the Africans. It ain't the Africans that's smart. It's the ones who it's the ones who so-called got the money and dumping up, so they feel entitled to. You're the one stupid. You don't want to carry the bigotry to Africa, Haiti, or any place else on the planet. You're the one stupid. You're the one that's less intelligent, because nobody with an intelligent mind will want to go around with people who they don't feel highly of. That's just that, and that don't make no sense. And so it would make you would figure it makes sense. It's like you expect other groups of people who you think highly, who are educated, who you most commonly would do business with. You would do business with, have common with them. Why would you go and have common with the people who you don't have that much in common with? And this is what I don't understand about it. People are bigots. And it's like if you're a bigot, okay, then you just stay yourself. I mean, it's just so obviously. It's obvious you're a moron. I mean, it's obviously you're less intelligent. You can't be too intelligent to go around to people than to say that you're better than some people, and you have different opinions about these different groups of people, but yet you want to progress off these people. No, 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 no. You're the smart one. You're the bright one. You need to stay among people that look just like yourself. You need to stay in your own country. You need to stay in your own neighborhood, wherever that may be. If you are this person that is a bigot, my suggestion is stay where you're at. Don't make yourself look, and stay off of social media, because when you open up your mouth or something like that, you're gonna be exposed. And no matter, if you're a bigot, if you live here in America, one of the things you might want to do is you might want to keep your bigotry to yourself. You might want to do it like where there's no cameras or cell phones around. So that if you especially if you come from a place like America, if you're a bigot against other groups of people, my suggestions to you is to just stay where you at. Or if for example, if you're a white person and you don't like other groups of people, this is what you do. Find a place in America, where it's predominantly a white town, it's no rocket science. Every place there in, I'm just using this as an example. Don't reflect all white people. But if you're a white person who is a skinhead Nazi or got similar to a skinhead Nazi belief, then pick a white town in America and don't listen to rap music. Don't watch no sports. don't have anything that is dealing with multicultural. Just basically listen to everything that keep program yourself what you is seen as your culture and whatever. And don't listen to no rap music. Don't go into an event where there's other people of nationalities. No, just keep your bigoted behind. And this is to the individuals who have this bigoted mindset and who don't like other different ethnic groups of people. And you'll have peace in your life. You won't have to deal with stuff. You don't have to come out and deal with something like that. And if you have a business, keep it up in the white area and then let it be known to the people like, and they might think you're some people. So now some people who are white gonna think you're a jerk, but hey, hey, this is what it's about, and this is and people who think like you and do business like you. Why people who think like you do your own business? Stay out of the rest of our people who aren't that way. That might be just suggesting that we can all get along on this planet. And the people who are bigot would understand this from every walks of life. But I was using those couple of examples. If they would have a peaceful life. They'll have to interact with the people who they can't stand. And and for example, if you're a Middle Eastern person and you come into an inner city neighborhood in America and you don't like black people, maybe you want to carry your business out in the suburbs someplace where you go to boss your kids go to school at. Why do you have your store in the inner city, uh, um, in some inner city among black people who you scare, who you fear, who you don't like them. You don't like these particular. This don't again. It's not against all Middle Eastern people, but the ones who have this bigot mindset, who don't look favorably among blacks in the inner city, and this is in America, and it could be in other places too. If you don't like that, stay in your own community and communicate with your own people, and you won't have to worry about being talked down to or someone coming at you or disrespecting you, and so you won't disrespect them. Nobody will, and that I mean this is fair. I mean, some things are so easy to solve. It's not even a problem. It shouldn't even be. It, and this is just something that's very logical. It makes sense. Why do business with people who you don't like? Why do you have your places in the places you don't stand? And say, what? No, I don't like those people down there. Well, I don't understand. And if why you don't want your business down there? Because those people make me nervous. They rob. They do this. If the bigot person would do something like this, just be real with yourself. Just be real. If you don't like a group of people, then keep your bigoted behind in your neighborhood among your people. Don't get no public job. Stay among your neighborhood where there's in certain communities have enough businesses to employ their own people. So you don't have to interact with other people. You don't have to speak to other people. This I mean this a lot of things would be just certain common sense to people who are bigots, who are prejudiced. And again, these are people who have a bigoted mind, who are prejudiced mind. And deep down, and the people who will see who are bigots, and they know that they don't like other groups of people. You know that you're a bigot. You know that you're a bigot. You don't like other groups of people. So save yourself a lot of headache and save yourself a lot of problem. Don't go someplace where it's multicultural. Don't go someplace and deal with business people and do business with and education with. It's plain and simple as that. In fact, maybe to maybe some people it's good to go back to their own country. I mean, if you're gonna be a bigot, that way you don't have to worry about dealing with other group of people on the planet. I mean, just certain things. It's just don't people who are prejudiced. Logic don't make and why they're prejudiced. It don't make no sense why they're prejudiced. They really don't, and they have to interact with some group of people who they don't normally would adapt to because anytime they come across these people, it's something always bad. It's always something bad, and they can't differentiate the good from the bad. So if you're a person that can't differentiate a good from the bad, you don't need to be around any group of people. If you don't have the common sense to differentiate good people and bad people in every human race, you don't need to be around the people. I'm sorry. And if you got a business, you do business among your people and see how far that go among just being around your own people, and just hope that other people will come into your business and your establishment, and if these other people won't come into your business or establishment. If you just put it in your own paper in your own language or keep it a secret, that would be better. That way, you have your side of the corner, and I have my side of the corner, and then the rest of the people would say, and then let this person know, don't go to this person because he's a bigot. He wants his own. Let him be out in his own world, and let the rest of the human people who are not bigots from all walks of life, including his own nationality, let him be known. Let him be among his own people. Let him be, because he's an ignorant individual that have no common sense. And anytime you come to some part of the world, you're going to interact with, and this is another thing I have a problem with some people. Common sense, no, when they come to the United States, they're coming to the United States. Is the United States. So in the coming of the United States, you're gonna see. Shouldn't that tell you something right there? That there's gonna be more people of different nationalities in the United States. So some of these people you're gonna come across from different parts of the country of the United States in different parts of the world. Other people who are not going to speak your language, who are not going to going to have a different of a culture, is going to be different. So I don't understand people who come from some part of the world with their bigotry over here, coming over here. And if you're a bigot and you feel this personal, hey, you need to stay where you at. And I mean, and why stress yourself out and say, I don't want to deal with some of the people. Why? Because I don't like half the Americans is over there because of different nationalities is over there. Just come on out and say it. Let's keep it. Let's be real with this. And I don't understand how some people can't keep it real. As far as that, if you're a bigot, just stay in your own country and deal with your own countrymen. And that's where you're comfortable. You in your surroundings, the way you speak, the way you talk. And if it's war torn, go to a neighboring country. If it gets political or whatever, go to the next country over and see how that fly. I mean, at least you able, as far as communication, you have the same belief system. There might be certain things, but at least you're able to communicate with each other. I don't know. Can anybody explain that to me? People who are bigots. Now, this don't apply to the whole race of human beings, but you got some people in the race of human beings that have this mindset. So these are the people who I'm addressing to. Maybe they just do yourself a favor and just stay where you at. Stay in your own country, stay in your own block, and if you have your own business, do with your own people. That simple as that. You won't have to count on any other people and say, hey, that won't even come across because no, we don't. I don't come across these people. So that's what I would say. The answer to solve the bigger problem, people who have bigotry problems, is that they just need to stay where they're at. They just need to just they don't need to be around people who are multicultural, different customs and cultural. They just need it because they can't just their reality. They need it. They want to be in their own world. They want to be among their own language and their own world, their own perception. That's why they're bigots. That's why they don't like other people. And what I don't understand is people, and for my people out there from all walks of life, if you pick this up, let other people know that this person's their business, that they're a bigot. Let them know that they're a bigot. Don't patronize their business. Don't patronize any person that is a bigot. That's a bigot. Don't patronize their business. You don't have to curse them and rob them and beat them up and nothing like that. No, 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 no. You don't have to commit no violence. Do it the right way. Let common sense show if they got a business, it's coming down. And I don't mean it's coming down business ethically. Why? Because the money. You don't go out there and threaten somebody, beat somebody up, and call them out their name, racially named. No, no, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't give it to their bigotry. Don't give it to what their devilment, their evil mind. You want to hurt somebody and they own the business, whatever, they're a bigot, let other people know and inform other people, and that's how, and stop that money. Stop that money. That's the key. Handling bigotry. Stop the person's money. Stop the currency. And you see how long that lasts. Let their pride show how, let their pride come down. Because that's what it is. A bigot, a prejudiced person has pride and bigotry. So they got so much pride that they can't see. But when they see that when it hits their finances, oh, something's gonna change. Something's gonna change. Trust me. Because people are going to come to common sense unless someone who agrees with his bigotry, but the ones who agree with the person who's prejudiced, they're not going to. They're not going. They'll be in a small minority. There'll be a very small minority of people who have the same prejudice. But the ones who are bigot, man, leave these people alone. Leave them alone. Don't bother them. And so, because I don't go in, to be honest with you, I don't go into business, and it's not one particular ethnic background. But if I see it, even here, I won't patronize and eat their food, go in their stores, anything. I'll go to the main street places. That I practice what I preach. I practice what because I actually do it. I'm not just a person that say it, because I've been places where I've seen in certain areas of town or city where I live at, any group of people practice that bigotry, that prejudice, I ain't going back in their business. I won't eat a drop of their food and nothing. And just like there was a situation in Florida where the woman couldn't get served food because she didn't speak Spanish or whatever. I mean, and she didn't want to serve the woman no food. That's just, which was ridiculous. And so the human race should have caught on to that and say, okay, this business got to be punished for that. Economically punished. And which was crazy because, the woman, just because a woman didn't speak Spanish, you didn't have to disrespect her like that. And they said, well, no one don't here speak Spanish. And I said, well, let me get this straight. And it's another thing. Okay. You come from a part of a world that you want to make progress in another part of the world. And majority of the world don't speak your language. You go to a country that don't speak your language, but yet you go across the border, but you're going to have to understand, you're going to have to speak the language in order to survive. for so long. I mean, you get a certain community that will help you out if you come across somebody. But the majority of the mainstream community that can bring in a vast majority of, if you want to own a business one day or work at a business one day, majority of people are going to speak that language. And for that woman to even say something like that, I mean, to say that to that woman, that she needs this to be bilingual. She needs to speak English. I mean, that's just, I mean, let's, you at someone's home, or you at someone's, if you at a church, it's something different. You at someone's home, but for someone to sit up there and say something like that, and say, I said she should, that's the kind of person I need to go back to, that they say that I don't speak English. Okay, it's time for you to go back to your country. Go back to it. Go back to the country where your origin, where your language come from, because that's just common sense. I don't. That's anybody or any part of the world. If you go into some part of the world where the majority of people speak that language, you're gonna have to learn to speak that language. They're not entitled to learn your language. You have to learn their language if you want to succeed. That's just common sense. You can keep your language among your family and your friends, but when it comes to the mainstream world, when you go to another part of the world, when you go into another part of the area, for example, I'm going to France. I need to learn how to speak French. The French don't have to. I'll come over there with this condescending attitude. Oh, they got to speak English. Well, what the hell are you doing in France? If you don't speak French, I mean, it just don't make no sense. Some stuff is just, it's asinine, that the things, that mindset that some people have, and they just get this entitlement. No, them people are not entitled. You got to learn their custom. That's their country. That's common sense. You can't progress and live in the part of the country and you don't speak the language. How you gonna get, if you have a medical emergency? How they gonna help you? If someone, you're a victim of crime, how they gonna help you? You can't speak English. How that person gonna help you? Common sense things like that. If you can't speak the basic, help me, I need help. And you can't speak the language, you're gonna be in trouble. You know, and it's good to learn to speak if you're going to live in the country for the rest of your life and raise your kids. It's good to learn the language. I mean, it's just some things. It's just, and that's the side I don't understand with some people who have that mindset. If like I said, if I would go to some part of the world, even I go to there, Latin America, if I'm going to live down there, or let's say for example Brazil, I got to speak Portuguese. Ain't about, I can't go down with no condescending attitude. These Portuguese, whatever, they need to speak my language. I'm not gonna speak their language. Like, you idiot. You in Brazil. You need to speak Portuguese. It's just the way it is. You don't come down with no condescending attitude. And that should be with anybody. Don't go to some part of the world having some condescending attitude, thinking that the majority of the people that speak that language need to speak your language. No, you need to get and speak their language. That's the way it is. That's the way in any part of the world. You have to respect. That's one thing about it. People don't properly, and that's another thing that leads into a bigotry. That connects with bigotry. You have to speak the language. That's common sense. And I'm just talking this again. This don't reflect everybody. This could reflect the people who do. You have to speak that language if you want to succeed in business. You might need medical service or any other services down there. You got to speak the language. That's just common sense, because majority of the time, some people are not going to speak your language. In some cases, if you're lucky, it might be a few, but that's one thing I don't understand either. But anyway, I'll kind of wrap on. I thank you for hearing this out, hearing this topic on my topic about bigotry, the division, and just consider, some people might like this and some people might don't, but the reality of it is what it is. People, the way like this life goes. So then again, I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you for hearing me out. And you guys have a good day and be blessed out there. And wherever part of the world you at, take care now.